came to China for so many times and so many years. What is your most impressive Chinese story for you?
My first visit to China was in 1975. You weren't even close to being born in 1975. I was a 20-year-old guy, and I had two brothers and a sister, and we would go ride our bikes all over Beijing. So we go to the zoo. As we walked from one pit to the other, there was a big crowd of people following us. We were more interesting to the people at the zoo than the animals in the zoo. I guess one of my most memorable images or impressions from being in China was way back in the day when there was very little interaction with outsiders.
But now it has changed.
There's so many foreigners that have come and enjoyed being around and enjoyed business and visiting and tourism and all that kind of stuff.
Since you came to China in 1975, I think you must be a witness for China's development path along the way. So how do you see China's economic growth in the future?
I have a lot of confidence in China's economic growth potential. And it's so great examples of it in the green space. We're using so much solar and so much wind. And as a result, China now leads the world in green energy deployment. Over 50% of the cars that are being bought are EVs because China was smart enough to build infrastructure. So there's charging systems. It makes it practical to own an EV. They're leading with hydrogen and the development of the new transitional green economy.
You also have some cooperation or investment in China. What kind of areas are you investing?
We're working with a car company here, a thin film car company. We're working with different kinds of companies to help them internationalize and to go overseas. And that's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed learning. I've been seeing so many companies with so many interesting technologies and applications of AI and low altitude, like drone applications and stuff, to see them being applied in the real world where these companies are making revenue. They're selling these units to all these manufacturing companies all over the place.
After experiencing the tariff policies and other things of the global trade, do you think there are still some foreign companies that are still going to invest in China?
American companies making stuff here. The market here is still growing. I've talked to a lot of Chinese businessmen. They tell me that it's growing, and it appears to be growing at 5% or whatever. And so the consumer market here is a pretty strong consumer market that will be growing for many, many years to come. And so these companies that are here, I would imagine, would continue to invest more here to take advantage of their being close to such a giant and lucrative market.
Facing the changing policies, the tariff policies in 2025, do you think our two countries' trade relationship return to normal in the future?
It's an illogical policy based on the false assumption that trade deficits are bad, and it's unworkable in the sense that jobs won't be coming to America anyway, or at least it'll take many, many years for it to happen. And unfortunately, our economy is starting to slow. Real signs of kind of the tariffs are beginning to take effect, and companies are reacting very cautiously by not growing and by cutting back and so employment is in decline in the United States, and it's a forebearer of the bad news that we're likely moving into a time when there may be a real slowing of the economy and a recession.